In life, relationships shape us, inspire us, and sometimes challenge us in unexpected ways. But there's one truth we often learn too late: not every relationship is meant to build us up. Some connections drain us, make us question our self-worth, or push us to compromise on our values. Recognizing when a relationship strengthens us or when it begins to pull us down can be the difference between growing into our best selves or staying stuck in a cycle of disappointment. The purpose of today's discussion is simple but powerful: to set firm boundaries and understand our worth in relationships. Because without these boundaries, we risk giving more of ourselves than we should, forgetting our own needs and losing our sense of self. Imagine the times when you felt taken for granted or when your kindness was mistaken for weakness. Those moments may have left you feeling depleted, frustrated, or even hurt. But the truth is, these are lessons that remind us of the value of setting limits and protecting our hearts. Self-respect and boundaries are the foundation of any healthy relationship. When we respect ourselves, we naturally attract people who respect us too. When we set boundaries, we communicate what we value and what we will not compromise on. And the beautiful part? Boundaries don't push people away. They draw the right people closer, the ones who respect us, honor our values, and want to see us thrive. Think back to a past relationship, perhaps one that taught you a difficult lesson. Maybe it was a friendship or a romantic relationship that left you questioning your own worth. Consider how different things could have been if you had set clearer boundaries or recognized your value sooner. The goal here isn't to dwell on past mistakes, but to use them as stepping stones for the future, to empower yourself with the wisdom to protect your peace and choose relationships that uplift you. Today, I'll be sharing 8 powerful principles to protect your self-worth in relationships. Each of these principles is designed to remind you of the importance of self-respect, the value of boundaries, and the courage it takes to walk away from what doesn't serve you. These aren't just rules, they're tools to help you build a foundation of strength, confidence, and peace in your life. As we dive into each point, reflect on your own experiences. Think about the moments when these principles could have saved you pain, or even the times when they guided you towards something better. My hope is that by the end of this video, you'll feel empowered to make choices that honor your worth and preserve your well-being. So let's begin this journey. Think of it as a path to protecting your heart, honoring your value, and ensuring that every relationship you invest in is one that genuinely adds to your life. Point 1, never allow your woman to keep a male best friend. In relationships, trust and security are essential pillars. When these pillars are strong, they create a foundation where both partners feel valued, safe, and respected. But sometimes dynamics outside the relationship can test this foundation. One such dynamic is when a partner has close friendships with members of the opposite sex, especially a male best friend. While it's important to encourage friendships, this particular situation can introduce complications that, if not handled carefully, may lead to misunderstandings, insecurities, and even resentment. Now, this isn't about control or jealousy, it's about setting boundaries that protect the relationship. Boundaries aren't about restricting someone's freedom, but about creating an environment where both partners feel secure. When a partner is deeply connected with someone of the opposite sex, it can unintentionally create feelings of inadequacy, leaving the other partner questioning their role or wondering if they're truly enough. It's natural to want to trust your partner fully, but when a woman maintains a close male best friend, subtle shifts in the relationship dynamics can occur. The time, energy, and emotional investment put into that friendship might, at times, rival the attention given to the romantic relationship. This can breed insecurities, and over time, it can create a wedge that impacts the bond you're trying to nurture. Clear boundaries help avoid these complications. They're not about forcing someone to cut ties, but rather about ensuring that the relationship feels protected and prioritized. Boundaries should be mutually agreed upon and respected by both parties. Discuss openly what you're comfortable with and what might feel unsettling. This isn't a conversation about making ultimatums or demands. It's about understanding each other's needs and creating a balanced approach that considers the feelings of both partners. A healthy partnership relies on transparency. If a close male friendship is important to her, it's worth exploring together how to integrate that friendship in a way that honors the romantic relationship. Encouraging transparency can go a long way in making sure there's no room for hidden insecurities or unresolved jealousy. Regular, open communication can help bring clarity and avoid any unintentional emotional drift. Mutual respect plays a big role here. When both partners respect each other's feelings and set boundaries, they reinforce trust. It shows a commitment to making each other feel valued and reassured. After all, relationships thrive when both people feel prioritized, and boundaries are a natural way to uphold that priority. The key message here is that boundaries aren't limitations, they're safeguards that create trust and respect. Allowing unchecked relationships with others can lead to misunderstandings, which over time foster resentment. By setting clear boundaries around close friendships, you're not only protecting your relationship, but also showing each other that the commitment you share is worth prioritizing. Point 2, never fight over a woman with another man. Self-respect is one of the greatest assets a person can have. It's the foundation of your dignity, confidence, and sense of worth. Yet when emotions are involved, especially in relationships, it can be easy to lose sight of this. One of the most compromising situations is finding oneself competing for someone's attention or affection with another person. It might seem like an act of love to fight for someone, but often it's a path that leads to loss of self-respect and inner turmoil. Here's the truth: if someone truly values you, you won't have to compete for their attention. When you're in a position where you feel the need to win someone over, it's a sign that they're not fully committed to you. And if they aren't committed, no amount of effort, proving, or fighting will change that. Pursuing someone who shows interest in others sends a message that you're willing to lower your standards, and that's a slippery slope. Choosing self-respect over competition doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about yourself to step back from situations that degrade your value. When you walk away from someone who forces you to compete for their attention, you're reclaiming your dignity. You're saying, I know my worth, and I refuse to be part of a situation that compromises it. It's an act of strength and clarity that builds confidence, even if it feels difficult at the moment. Moreover, competing with another person over a relationship often brings out negative emotions like jealousy, insecurity, and resentment. These feelings don't foster a healthy connection. Instead, they create drama, erode your peace, and divert your energy from personal growth. Your time and energy are far too valuable to waste on proving your worth to someone who doesn't see it clearly. Walking away from these situations also sends a powerful message, not just to the other person, but to yourself. It reinforces the principle that your peace and self-respect come first. When you choose yourself over unnecessary drama, you attract people who genuinely value you. Your sense of self-worth will act like a magnet for healthier relationships where mutual respect and admiration are the foundation. Life is too short to spend it entangled in unnecessary competition or rivalry. If you have to compete for someone's attention, they're not worth your time or energy. Love should never feel like a contest or a battleground. It should feel like a partnership where both people are equally invested. The person who truly values you will make you feel wanted and secure without making you fight for it. So remember, when you face situations where you're forced to prove yourself, choose to walk away. Your self-respect is worth more than winning someone over. Prioritizing inner peace, self-worth, and dignity will lead to healthier connections and attract people who are ready to appreciate you for who you are without any competition required. Point 3, don't pursue a woman who doesn't like you. Pursuing someone who doesn't share your feelings is one of the most exhausting and disheartening experiences. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that with enough effort or patience, someone will eventually reciprocate your interest. But the reality is, when someone doesn't like you, it's best to accept it and move on. Trying to force a connection that isn't mutual only drains you emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Recognizing when a connection is one-sided is a crucial lesson in self-worth. If someone isn't interested, it's not a reflection of your value, rather it's a simple mismatch. When you pursue someone who doesn't truly want to be with you, you're putting yourself in a position where you're constantly seeking approval or validation from them. This dynamic is unhealthy and often leaves you feeling more insecure than before. Genuine connections are based on mutual interest, respect, and appreciation, and those are things you can't force. It's essential to understand that the right person will see your value without you having to convince them. They will appreciate your efforts, respect your time, and reciprocate your feelings naturally. Pursuing someone who isn't interested not only affects your self-esteem, but also limits your ability to focus on people who genuinely appreciate you. By holding on to unrequited feelings, you block opportunities for healthy relationships and connections that bring positivity and growth into your life. Learning to let go of unreciprocated feelings is a mark of maturity. It shows that you're willing to prioritize your self-worth over the need for someone's attention. By choosing to walk away from someone who doesn't like you, you're telling yourself, I deserve to be with someone who values me fully. This act of self-respect strengthens your emotional resilience and helps you set higher standards for future relationships. Additionally, investing time and energy in someone who doesn't value you prevents you from focusing on your personal growth and goals. It's a distraction that only hinders your progress and keeps you stuck in a place of longing and dissatisfaction. When you redirect that energy towards self-improvement and people who genuinely care, you open the door to a more fulfilling life. Remember, it's better to be alone than to be with someone who doesn't see your worth. The right person will come along when you least expect it, and they'll make you feel valued and wanted without any chasing or convincing. Until then, invest in yourself, grow your strengths, and stay open to connections that are built on mutual respect and interest. By doing so, you're not only preserving your energy, but also positioning yourself for relationships that are truly meaningful. Point 4, don't spend money on a woman who brings no value. When it comes to relationships, both emotional investment and financial resources play a role in how they develop and thrive. However, there's a key distinction between sharing resources in a relationship that's balanced and meaningful and spending on someone who brings no real value to your life. Money, just like time and effort, is an investment. And if that investment doesn't contribute positively to your well-being and growth, it becomes more of a drain than an addition to your life. Relationships are ideally about give and take, where both partners contribute to each other's happiness, growth, and stability. When you're consistently giving, whether that's financially, emotionally, or otherwise, without receiving anything of value in return, it's essential to take a step back and evaluate the dynamics of that relationship. Ask yourself, is this person truly adding something meaningful to my life? A balanced relationship involves mutual support, shared dreams, and genuine companionship, not just material expectations. It's easy to get caught up in trying to win someone over by spending money on gifts, dinners, and outings. But if a relationship is built on how much you spend, it's a weak foundation. True connections go beyond what's tangible. While there's nothing wrong with being generous to someone who appreciates and reciprocates your efforts, it's different when your contributions become an expectation rather than a gesture of kindness. This is where it becomes transactional. And in a transactional relationship, one person often benefits while the other ends up feeling drained. Spending your hard-earned money on someone who doesn't reciprocate with value, respect, or genuine companionship can lead to resentment and dissatisfaction over time. Your resources are limited, and they should be directed toward people and experiences that enrich your life. If someone only sticks around because of what you provide financially, it's likely they're more interested in the benefits than in you as a person. A partner who values you for who you are, rather than what you can give, is someone worth investing in. Additionally, focusing on meaningful connections rather than transactional ones helps you build a life surrounded by people who appreciate and support you. People who bring value into your life will stand by you in times of both abundance and scarcity. They'll see you as a person, not just a source of resources, a relationship where both partners contribute emotionally, intellectually, and financially builds a strong bond that goes beyond any superficial aspect. Spending on someone who offers no value in return also takes away from other important aspects of your life. The money, time, and energy you invest in someone who doesn't genuinely care could be used for personal growth, experiences that bring you joy, or relationships that are fulfilling. By setting boundaries around your resources, you're not only respecting yourself, but also ensuring that your efforts are appreciated. At its core, this is about recognizing your own value and knowing that a healthy relationship doesn't rely on what you can provide materially. It thrives on shared values, mutual respect, and the ability to support each other in meaningful ways. By choosing to invest in people who genuinely bring positivity and growth into your life, you're setting a standard for the kind of relationship you deserve. Point 5, don't take back a woman who left you for another man. When someone you care about decides to leave you for someone else, it's a decision rooted in choice. That choice speaks volumes about where their priorities lie, and more importantly, where you stand in their life. Taking them back after they chose another person can seem like a chance to rebuild, but in reality, it often leads to a cycle of mistrust, hurt, and insecurity. Trust, once broken, is incredibly challenging to restore, and accepting someone back after they left you for another person can lead to a constant questioning of their loyalty. Choosing not to take someone back who left you for someone else is a way of respecting your own boundaries and self-worth. Relationships should be built on mutual respect, loyalty, and a shared commitment to each other. When someone steps outside of that commitment, it leaves emotional scars that don't just heal with time. The trust that once held the relationship together is fractured, and moving forward becomes a difficult task filled with doubts and insecurities. No matter how much they may apologize, the memory of their choice to leave remains, and it can cast a shadow over any attempt to rebuild. Allowing someone back into your life after they left you for another person can also put you in a vulnerable position where you're left questioning their motives. Are they returning because they genuinely regret their decision and are committed to rebuilding? Or are they coming back out of convenience? It's important to remember that if someone left you once, there's a possibility they might do it again. Trusting someone who has already shown a willingness to walk away can be emotionally draining and may prevent you from finding someone who truly values you. Moreover, by accepting back someone who chose someone else over you, you may be signaling that you're willing to tolerate disloyalty. This can lead to a pattern where they feel they can come and go as they please, knowing you'll always be there waiting. Such relationships often lack stability and end up becoming toxic, as one person holds power over the other. Instead of allowing someone to repeatedly test your boundaries, it's better to prioritize relationships with people who respect and value you from the beginning. Choosing not to take back someone who left is a way of prioritizing your own mental and emotional health. It's not about holding grudges, it's about recognizing that you deserve someone who won't put you in a position where you're second best. When you stand by your boundaries, you create space for a healthy, respectful relationship with someone who truly appreciates you and won't make you question your worth. Finally, a relationship built on loyalty and trust provides a strong foundation for growth and happiness. By not allowing someone back who once chose someone else, you're freeing yourself from a cycle of betrayal and the constant need to look over your shoulder. It allows you to seek a partnership rooted in honesty, loyalty, and respect. Point 6, don't stay with a woman who is unfaithful, ungrateful, and surrounded by other men. Relationships are built on trust, loyalty, and mutual respect. When any of these foundational pillars is missing, the relationship becomes fragile and damaging. Staying with someone who is unfaithful or ungrateful puts a heavy strain on your mental and emotional well-being. No one deserves to be in a relationship where loyalty is constantly questioned and gratitude for the time and energy invested in each other is absent, it's essential to recognize when a relationship is more harmful than beneficial and to have the courage to step away from it. Being in a relationship with someone who is surrounded by other men and who doesn't value your presence can lead to feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. This dynamic often creates an environment filled with jealousy, mistrust, and constant emotional strain. When you're with someone who is unfaithful or shows little appreciation for your efforts, you're left questioning your worth and doubting the sincerity of your partner's feelings. This not only impacts your self-esteem, but can also prevent you from finding someone who truly values you. Unfaithfulness in a relationship is a sign of disrespect. When someone cannot commit fully or chooses to engage with others in ways that breach the boundaries of your relationship, they're not showing respect for you or the relationship. This behavior erodes trust and can create a toxic cycle of suspicion and emotional pain. No relationship can thrive under such circumstances. It's vital to understand that you deserve to be with someone who is committed and respects the boundaries you've both agreed upon. Being with an ungrateful partner can also be emotionally draining. Gratitude is the foundation of healthy relationships. It shows appreciation for each other's time, efforts, and sacrifices. When gratitude is absent, it often leads to one-sided efforts, where you feel like you're constantly giving but receiving nothing in return. Over time, this imbalance breeds resentment and can wear you down emotionally, making you question why you're investing in someone who doesn't appreciate you. In addition, if the person you're with is always surrounded by other men and engages in behavior that disrespects the relationship, it's essential to evaluate whether this is an environment you want to remain in. Constantly feeling like you have to compete for attention or worrying about their loyalty is not a sustainable or healthy way to live. These situations often only worsen over time, leading to more insecurity, more distrust, and ultimately more unhappiness. It's essential to remember that staying in a toxic relationship can prevent you from reaching your full potential. Relationships should enhance your life, not hinder it. A relationship where there's no loyalty, appreciation, or respect only drags you down, consuming your energy and keeping you from finding happiness elsewhere. Letting go of someone who brings negativity into your life might be difficult, but it's a necessary step toward personal growth and self-respect. Leaving an unfaithful and ungrateful relationship is an act of self-care and self-respect. It shows that you value yourself enough to seek a partnership where love, loyalty, and mutual appreciation are genuinely present. By walking away from such situations, you make space for healthier connections that can nurture you emotionally and support your personal growth. Point 7, don't keep a woman who disrespects you. Respect is the cornerstone of any strong and lasting relationship. Without mutual respect, the foundation of the relationship is weak, leading to cracks that inevitably cause emotional damage. When you're with someone who disrespects you, it affects your confidence, self-worth, and overall happiness. A healthy relationship should lift you up, not make you feel small or unworthy. Disrespect can come in many forms: constant criticism, belittling your opinions, ignoring your boundaries, or making you feel unimportant. Each of these actions chips away at your self-esteem and leaves lasting wounds. When disrespect is a recurring theme in your relationship, it's a clear sign that something is fundamentally wrong. Allowing someone to continually disrespect you sends the message that you're willing to accept less than you deserve, which can prevent you from experiencing the deep respect and admiration that healthy relationships offer. A partner who respects you will value your feelings, listen to your perspectives, and honor your boundaries. Respect is shown in both words and actions, and it's non-negotiable in any relationship. If someone truly cares about you, they won't repeatedly act in ways that make you feel undervalued or unworthy. They will show understanding and appreciation for who you are as a person. Without this foundation, even the strongest attraction or deepest love cannot sustain a healthy relationship. When disrespect becomes a pattern, it also creates a toxic environment where you may feel anxious, insecure, and constantly walking on eggshells. This type of emotional instability is damaging and erodes your sense of self. No one should have to endure a relationship where they feel like they're always trying to prove their worth or earn basic respect. Real love honors and values you, and anything less isn't worthy of your time or energy. Letting go of someone who disrespects you may feel challenging, but it's a necessary step toward protecting your emotional well-being. By removing disrespectful relationships from your life, you're setting a standard for how you expect to be treated. You're making a commitment to prioritize your self-respect and surround yourself with people who value and appreciate you. Staying in a relationship where you're not respected not only holds you back, but also keeps you from finding a partner who will truly honor you. When you're with someone who doesn't respect you, it's a constant battle for validation, leaving little room for growth or happiness. However, when you walk away, you create space in your life for relationships that build you up and help you become the best version of yourself. Point 8, don't stay with a woman who despises you and wants to leave. When someone wants to leave a relationship, their heart and mind are already elsewhere. Holding on to a person who has emotionally checked out is not only painful, but it's also a form of self-sabotage. No matter how much you care for someone, staying in a relationship where you are not valued or wanted will only bring you down. Real love is mutual, and when that reciprocity fades, so does the foundation of a healthy partnership. Accepting that a relationship is over, even when it's hard, is crucial for your own emotional health and well-being. Staying with someone who despises you or who no longer sees the value in the relationship creates an environment of constant tension, insecurity, and unhappiness. You may find yourself constantly second-guessing your worth, questioning what went wrong, or trying to change yourself in the hopes of winning them back. This mindset is not only draining, but also prevents you from living your life authentically. Trying to force someone to stay creates a cycle of self-blame and resentment, making you believe that their leaving is a reflection of your inadequacies. This couldn't be further from the truth. When a relationship is no longer serving both partners, it's important to recognize that clinging on only prolongs pain for both of you. Letting go allows you to regain control of your self-respect and dignity. It's a step toward releasing the emotional weight of unreciprocated feelings. Yes, it's natural to want to hold on to the memories and the idea of what the relationship used to be, but it's also necessary to recognize that those feelings may no longer align with reality. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself is to walk away from a relationship that has run its course. In a relationship, you should be cherished and valued for who you are, not treated as an afterthought or a burden. Staying with someone who wants to leave means subjecting yourself to a relationship devoid of trust, loyalty, and connection. This is not love, it's an attachment born from habit or fear of being alone. Real love uplifts you, strengthens you, and respects you. Staying in a relationship where that respect is absent will only hurt you further and prevent you from finding the kind of love you deserve. Letting go can be painful, but it's also freeing. It allows you to open yourself up to better connections and new opportunities. By releasing someone who is already emotionally departed, you give yourself the chance to heal and grow. You're making room for a future where you are appreciated, respected, and truly loved by someone who genuinely wants to be in your life. Holding on the other hand, traps you in a cycle of emotional suffering and stunts your personal growth. So take the courageous step of letting go. It may feel like a loss in the short term, but in the long run, it's a gain in self-respect, dignity, and freedom. By freeing yourself from a relationship that's no longer serving you, you're making space for the kind of love and partnership that will genuinely fulfill you. As we come to the end, let's quickly revisit each of these principles. Each point highlights a vital truth about self-worth and boundaries in relationships. First, we discuss the importance of setting clear lines regarding friendships in a committed relationship, understanding that transparency and boundaries strengthen trust. Then we talked about the value of self-respect, particularly when it comes to refusing to compete for someone's attention. Fighting over a partner devalues your worth and takes away your peace. Next, we explored why it's unwise to pursue someone who isn't interested in you. Investing in one-sided relationships only drains you. This ties into the following point: being mindful of where we spend our resources. Relationships should be balanced and fulfilling, not financially or emotionally draining. We also discussed the importance of never taking back someone who left you for someone else. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Protecting yourself from cycles of betrayal is essential to your peace and well-being. Then came the crucial lesson of walking away from relationships where there's dishonesty, disloyalty, or disrespect. Holding on to someone who doesn't honor the relationship will only stunt your growth and leave you hurt. Similarly, we emphasize that if a partner constantly disrespects you, they don't deserve a place in your life. Respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and without it, there's no true connection. Finally, we discussed the painful but necessary decision of letting go when someone has emotionally moved on or doesn't want to stay. Clinging to a relationship that's already over emotionally only prolongs the pain. Freeing yourself from these burdens opens up opportunities for better, healthier relationships. Each of these principles serves as a reminder you deserve respect, loyalty, and genuine connection. Don't settle for less. Every boundary you set is a reflection of your self-worth. A relationship should uplift you, bring you joy, and support your growth, not drain you, hurt you, or make you question your own value. It's important to remember that the standards you set aren't just to keep others in check, they're to remind yourself of what you truly deserve. As a final push, think about the relationships in your life. Reflect on whether they're enriching your journey or holding you back. Setting standards is an act of self-love. It's a declaration that you won't compromise your happiness, peace, or worth for the sake of keeping someone else around. This mindset doesn't just apply to romantic relationships, it applies to friendships, family, and any bond in your life. Choose connections that added value, that respect who you are, and that align with the vision you have for yourself. Take a moment to reflect on your relationships. Which of these principles speaks most to you? What boundaries do you find the most empowering? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this journey of growth and self-respect together. You have the power to build a life filled with love, respect, and fulfillment.